So my own health journey led me exactly where I am today. And in my case, I was misdiagnosed. Traditional Western healthcare, it's just a flawed system.
It's losing people a lot. Nowadays, people want more holistic approach.
But holistic medicine, it goes so much deeper. Why are women now, young girls, are experiencing so much hormonal chaos? Nobody's stopping and asking. And I have studied so many modalities, everything from Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, nutrition.
Oh, wow.
It's really just adding layers on everything that I learned traditionally in school. So many women especially, we're holding on to so much unresolved emotional traumas and baggage. If it's not addressed, it will show up physically because information is knowledge. So my objective is just to really help people learn more about their health.
Everyone wants to live longer, but what does longevity actually mean to you? Is it about adding years to life or adding life to our years? Jolie, it's such a pleasure having you here with us today. I'd love to hear more about your background and also what led you on to this amazing career.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So my background is in pharmacy. I obtained my doctorate of pharmacy from University of Florida, and I went through the traditional Western medicine model of studying. And then my own life and my own health journey, just like a lot of people I feel in this field, we get into it because either of our own life experiences or that of someone that we love.
Yeah.
So my own health journey led me exactly where I am today.
That's beautiful. Do you want to tell us more? I mean, I know about your story and I found it quite shocking. And you know that because I told you, I couldn't even believe it. I'd love for you to tell us more about when did you pivot from the traditional medicine to the holistic one, the reason why you did that.
So like I said, because of my own health journey, I wasn't able to get the answers and the proper care that I needed.
Right.
So because of that, it made me what I do now working with women. I try to be for them what I so desperately needed back then. Someone to actually take a deep dive and to look at the whole picture and not just put a Band-Aid on the symptom and to actually take the time to really dig deep. Back in 2020, I started getting some symptoms, and I just basically, to make a long story short, went from doctor to doctor without any real answers. I think like a lot of women, we are just offered birth control for any women's issues. It's like, here, take some birth control. And in my case, I was misdiagnosed, and I ended up having unnecessary surgery. So that whole journey led me exactly where I am today. So it was actually a blessing in disguise.
And when you say unnecessary surgery, we are talking about a brain surgery. So it's not just a small surgery that we are talking about. When you spoke about it to me the first time we had a conversation, what came into my mind that I was dying to ask you now during the episode so everybody could discover your answer with me is, do you feel that your background as a pharmacist wasn't helpful when you were going through that phase?
It actually wasn't. And I'm not here I don't want to bash medicine or bash traditional Western healthcare because it's just a flawed system. But we are not taught the connection between nervous system, nutrition, gut health, hormones. Everything is seen as separate. Like if you have a GI, a stomach issue, you go to the gastroenterologist. If you have an issue with your cycle and your hormones, you go to the gynecologist. If you have acne, you go to the dermatologist, and nobody puts it all together. Just like, here's a pill.
Yeah.
Here's this, here's
Good
that.
point.
And it's just, at the end of the day, you're taking 20 medications and you're worse off than when you started.
Yes. That's actually a very good point. And it's I mean, on top of everything else, and something else that shocked me is, I mean, not only you received a brain surgery when you didn't need one, but everything that goes around it, right? You had to take off from your job, this recovery time. You had to figure out, financially how you were going to pay for that. And we even, spoke about how suing them didn't make any sense because of the specific institution you went to for that surgery. So not only traditional medicine is something that could be costly at the end of the day, but the misdiagnosed, there is just no way of receiving an apology from them for that. So I feel that when you are trusting an institution and it's failing you and it has no accountability behind, it's losing people a lot. Nowadays, people want more holistic approaches just like you because this is just a system that has failed them too many times. This was one of the reasons why I really wanted you to have on this podcast testify about it. But I'm super glad about the turn that your journey took because you ended up becoming a holistic practitioner. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Sure. So, I mean, pharmacy and all my Western traditional schooling really gave me the background. It gave me, I studied all the physiology, the anatomy, biology, chemistry, the medicine, pharmaceuticals, everything, the basis for what I know now. But holistic medicine, it goes so much deeper and it teaches practitioners how to look upstream. So yes, this patient might be presenting with all of these things, but maybe it's because of nervous system dysregulation. Maybe it's because of poor gut health, hormone dysregulation. There's so much that goes into it. So it's definitely the holistic medicine has just added a lot of layers to what I already learned traditionally in school.
Another question that I have is, in your experience, does the healthcare system focus more on treating the symptoms rather than understanding the root cause? And how does it impact people's lives?
Unfortunately, definitely it's more symptom focused. And again, I don't, like you brought up, my misdiagnosis and not getting an apology. I don't think it's any particular practitioner's fault. It's just the system of medicine in this country is just flawed. And yes, they're taught to just look at symptoms and not why is this symptom appearing. And yes, if you present, like I said, if you present to the gynecologist with a abnormal cycle, or if you present with any type of hormonal issues, what do they diagnose you with? They diagnose every woman with PCOS, and they give everyone birth control pills and spironolactone. That's it. They never stop and ask, why are you experiencing hormone dysregulation? Why are women now, young girls, are experiencing so much hormonal chaos? Nobody's stopping and asking. Right. It's just like, oh, you have this, take a birth control. And if you have acne, go on Accutane. And if you have IBS, go to the gastroenterologist and take another pill. No one's trying to figure out, why is this woman experiencing all of these symptoms? Why is she anxious? Why is she bloated? Why is she inflamed? Why are her hormones out of balance to begin with? So that's what holistic medicine tries to do.
I understand now. They aren't actually equipped with the right tools to go beyond what they have been taught. They follow the guideline and they're trying to make you feel better for what you're feeling right now, not what actually caused it to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah. When it comes to women, what do you believe traditional medicine gets wrong?
Well, for the first thing is traditional medicine is mostly based on males' physiology. And women, we are much more complex than males. Much more complex. I always use the analogy, men are like the sun. They have a 24-hour cycle. It's like their testosterone rises in the morning, declines at night. Women, we're like the moon. We had the full moon last night. We are like the moon. It's like a 28-day cycle. So we are much more complex. We have a lot of ebbs and flows throughout the month, and the systems that work for men just don't work for women. The medications, the nutrition advice, the workout advice, all these things that we're seeing online that's targeted for everyone, a lot of that's targeted for men. And a lot of the research, the clinical studies are done on men and then they're applied to women. It doesn't work like that. So a lot of times
Yeah.
when women go to the doctors, the treatments that they're offered are not supposed to be, they're not maximized for women's care. They're for men.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that every woman has to consider.
That's so tragic because the truth is, I mean, I had a conversation with an amazing OBGYN, and she brought up the fact that, women are not small men, but she brought up the fact that most of the medication we receive have been tested on men, which led to 80% of all the medication being removed from the shelves because the side effects are greater on women and obviously cannot be sold the way it is. The thing is, I didn't realize that this was, ingrained all the way into the actual medical practice. So it's a deeper issue that I could have ever imagined. I like also the analogy you made with the sun and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It gives
It's
a
true.
lot more,
Yeah.
perspective on the subject than just saying women are not small men, because it's like, no, you're completely right. Like the cycle is completely different.
Yeah, it drives me crazy on social media when these male doctors and longevity, they're giving all of this blanket advice for women, like you need to do this hardcore fasting and the cold plunge, and it's like that's not meant for for women. That's
Right.
for you to do, not for us to do. So
So we
yeah,
are basically hurting ourselves by following them.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
not
are.
understanding. Wow.
Yeah.
One of your biggest messages is that women needs to become, related to our my previous question, need to become the CEO of their own health. I wanted to ask you, what does that look like in actual practice?
You have to be your own advocate, because if you don't advocate for yourself, nobody else will. So I don't care who you're going to, if you're going to me, if you're going to the top doctor that specializes in, the top of their field, question everything. And women, we are very intuitive. So we need to learn to trust ourselves, our intuition, and our bodies more. We are trained from a young age to seek answers from everyone except for us. So it's really, really
Yes.
important to first and foremost check in with yourself. Like, does this feel right? Does this feel right in my body? Does this make sense to me? And always get second opinions. Do your research. And like a CEO would create the best team possible for their company, you have to create the best team possible for your healthcare. You're not going
Yeah.
to just hire anyone for your company to do your important jobs, right? So you have to do the same for your health. If you go to a doctor and they don't listen to you, or they dismiss you, or they, just quick to prescribe you a pill, go find a new doctor. You really have to be picky and choosy with your health team and advocate for yourself. It's so important. You
So
can't be passive. Can't be passive ever.
So what you're saying is basically before going to a doctor's appointment, gather your resources, understand what it could be or could not be, so you are prepared to ask the right questions. And if the question
Exactly.
don't match what you're feeling, or you don't want to have as a first option taking a pill, you are entitled to once again learn about your own state and question your practitioner on it.
You need to. You can't ever just blindly trust. Doesn't matter how many accolades that doctor has, you always have to do your research and don't ever become passive with your health. And now with AI, women are at the greatest advantage ever. You have so much wealth of knowledge at your fingertips. So
Yeah.
use it for your good and do your research. Ask ChatGPT, Claude to help you prepare for your upcoming doctor's appointments. Review everything afterwards. Really take control. Become the CEO. That's really what I empower my female patients to do.
If a woman is shy to ask questions because she's just afraid that she's going to be dismissed, or maybe I'm going to give you an example. You just mentioned AI, and the first thing that a lot of professionals do is, whatever you have read online, don't believe everything you read online. That's the line that they always use. Don't believe everything you hear online or you read online. What do you do in that moment?
I mean, I don't think you should I'm not saying like don't listen to any doctors and just do doctor chat GPT. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying second guess everything, fact check things. Don't just blindly accept one doctor's opinion. Go get other opinions. Go to other doctors, get a second opinion, especially if it has to do with a surgery, like in my case, or taking any hormone treatment or any medication. Do your research. Go see another doctor. Go to talk to ChatGPT or go do your online research. And if you're a fear of being dismissed, think of it as, this is your health. At the end of the day, who cares what some doctor, you're going to offend a doctor? Who cares? This is your health. This is your life sometimes on the line. So that comes first. Your health always comes first. At the end of the day, you're the customer, right? So you have to be choosy of which doctor you choose and which treatment you pursue. Like forget offending the doctor. This is, your health. So
I love that message. I think it's going to help a lot of women out there, especially because doctors don't like to be wrong or questioned for that matter. It's if you have worries, they will address those worries. But if you have actual questions, I can tell you, unfortunately, we're not in they haven't learned yet how to approach that situation. I'm going to say it like that. So they can be offended. Okay, so don't care. And once again, this is your health. Do it anyways.
Yes. And I will say, just like with any other profession, not all doctors are created equal. If you don't like if you go to your doctor and he makes you feel dumb or she makes you feel dumb for asking questions or belittles you or is offended that you ask questions, that's not a doctor you want. You want to go get a second opinion, because any doctor that belittles you for asking questions or makes you feel wrong for asking questions, or even every single day I'll have a client or even a friend or family member tell me that they went to a doctor and the doctor refused to listen to them, refused to run the labs that they requested.
There you go.
Refused and just wanted to push a pill right away without even getting that. That's a red flag. Flag. You should treat your first doctor's appointment like a first date. And any red flags, no, next. So that's my recommendation for women who are seeking care.
That's a very good tip. I love your approach because it's empowering, potential patients, rather than giving power to the practitioner. And not in a way where the practitioner shouldn't have power, but where questions are fair regardless of if the doctor is right or not. And that's just, once again, something that people with less education look up to certain practitioners and will never question them because of that reason. There is kind of a distance between their knowledge versus what we know, and we just feel, obligated to follow their version of what is happening. So, but pretty shocking what you said as well, that some doctors refuse to run labs and things like that altogether.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So they're just trying to see as many patients as possible.
Yeah.
I think everyone has been in that situation that they wait 2 hours to see a specialist. They go in there and talk to the doctor for 5 minutes while he's writing she's writing the script, and, bye, see you in 2 months for your follow-up to get your refills for your medication.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just a system. Like I said, it's a flawed system.
Yeah.
So, but all these doctors,
so
if they are belittling you for asking questions or making you feel less than, that's their ego, and that's a sign to get a new doctor. Yeah.
There you go. I hope you all heard that, because that was very powerful, really. There is a lot of discussion around, once again, in your program, becoming the CEO of your health. But back to what you were saying, with so much misinformation online, people are increasingly turning back to doctors for that very reason, right? Because they feel like there's just too much going on online and everybody's trying to get their attention. So now we have shifted from actual information that contradicts certain practices in the traditional medicine to everybody trying to sell you their own thing. How people and women can filter this misinformation?
So whenever I see someone, and social media is amazing, right? Because now it's bringing so much information at everyone's fingertips, the same with AI. But when it comes to social media, you have to remember that literally anyone who has an iPhone can go on social media and start saying whatever outlandish things they want and call it facts. So anyone can just start saying whatever they want on social media. So you really have to be cautious of who you are taking advice from. You have to check their
Right.
credentials. Like, who are these people? Do
Ooh,
they
good
have they
point.
have they
Yes.
studied? Are they just a random, online coach? Anyone can call themselves an online coach. So check out their credentials. And also, unfortunately, it's true. Most people are just trying to sell you something, and they fear monger, and they especially prey on women. And they're trying to sell you some supplement, some program.
All
So
the
you
time.
really just have
Yeah.
to put a filter on and really ask yourself, who is this person? What are their credentials, and what are they trying to sell?
So you receive the information, and the first intelligent thing to do is double checking that information on other platform, maybe Google, maybe on someone else's contents, and also checking the credential of the person speaking and giving that information out.
Yeah, and also, like I mentioned previously, if you see, a male, I don't know, a Gary Brecka or one of these, Peter Attia or one giving blanket advice, like every woman or every person should be doing this or taking this or eating this, that's a red flag, because nothing is for everyone.
Yeah.
Things are individualized. That's what functional medicine is. It's a very individual, personalized approach. If anyone's telling you that everybody should be on this supplement, everybody should be eating keto, carnivore, taking this, taking that, then that's a red flag. Maybe that's what that person or what some people should be doing, but people need to really ask themselves, like, is this right for me and my body and my stage of life right now? And not every advice needs to be followed on the internet. You really, really have to be cautious of where you're getting your information from.
I adore what you just said. I feel that you have unlocked that very higher consciousness of understanding what is given and fed to you online versus what you have to take away. It's the anything that you take should be tailored to your own needs. Like you said, as soon as they say, oh, if you've been having like brain fogs, if you've been having, which happens for many different reasons, you need to
Yes.
take this. And you're
Yeah.
like, that's it. Brain fogs, they had it, I have it. They know what I'm going through. I'm going to take this. They feel better about themselves. This is what's going to happen to me as well. It's
Yeah.
an actual trap, because it doesn't mean that what you are going through is what they went through. It's their body's their body, your body's your body, and you should receive an actual diagnosis that fits your own symptoms.
Yeah. It's like the pharmaceutical commercials, right? It's like, do you wake up and go to sleep at night? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel tired? Do you feel you should take this pill? It's like, what? So before you take any supplement, you really do your research, check AI, check Google, do some research and ask yourself, is this right for me? Because any supplement that's blanketed, everyone should be on this, that's probably not the right supplement for you. Supplements, I'm very cautious on supplements, because I hear so many people tell me that they buy supplements they see on TikTok Shop and on Amazon that an influencer was promoting. That's just, supplements are also, you're ingesting them and they're working in your body. You have to be careful of what you're taking. It could be not right for you. It could be interacting with some
Right.
medications you're already on. They could be just not, interacting with the medical condition you have. So you have to be very cautious and don't ever blindly take something that someone on the internet is trying to sell to you.
Well, thank you for that advice. I know it's going to resonate with a lot of people. And as a pharmacist with a traditional medical background, do you feel that holistic medicine expanded your knowledge or required you to relearn everything from scratch?
Definitely expanded, because, like I said, the basis of everything medical, you need to know chemistry to understand, pharmaceuticals. You need to understand basic anatomy, physiology, biology, all the sciences that I studied for 8+ years.
Right.
I really, and also before I went to pharmacy school, I studied psychology. So to me, psychology is a basis of everything, So I actually find that degree even more valuable than my doctorate, because the human condition is, we're such interesting creatures, and to really have a good understanding of psychology and human behavior, I think really, really set the tone for everything else I learned afterwards. And holistic medicine, I mean, I have studied so many modalities since going on this holistic, journey. But everything from Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, nutrition,
Oh, wow.
it's really just adding layers on everything that I learned traditionally in school. So definitely just added more and more. Yeah, and I love learning, so I think I'm going to be learning until the day I die.
I love the fact that you mentioned also that psychology is the core value of holistic medicine because it's related, right? We spoke about the nervous system. There is a lot that is happening in the body related directly to what's going on in your mind.
Oh my gosh, so much more than people realize. And I had to go through my own journey to really appreciate that. And I see it every day when I'm working with clients and patients. So many women, especially, we're holding on to so much unresolved emotional traumas and baggage. And if it's not addressed, it will show up physically. It'll show up as disease in your body. Like the book, The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know if you've read that.
I haven't.
But I really recommend it for anyone
Okay.
who has any ongoing unexplained symptoms that they're experiencing. It really teaches how there's such a connection between the mind and the body. It's not separate, it's all
Okay.
one. It's all one. And a lot of things that women hold on to, us women, we carry a lot. We carry a lot. And a lot of women experience traumas, whether that's big T or little t, like
Yeah.
abuse, abusive relationships, abuse as children, toxic relationships, jobs that
100%.
no longer serve them, and
Mm,
their body is stuck in a survival mode for
right.
so long that eventually they'll see the autoimmune disease pop up. They'll see the chronic illness, the IBS, the hormone chaos, the gut issues. Like it's all a lot of times related. It stems from the nervous system. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think it started to come out a lot more than it used to, but there is just so much more to learn about it. And I'm so happy that there are advocates like you with a backstory on how they started, that journey, because it feels that sometimes holistic healing is an alternative, just like it's called. And I understand the word alternative to you needing a surgery or having something that needs an actual, a doctor to operate on you. But when you say alternatives, that means you separate the science behind the holistic approach and say this is not verified, this is not backed by studies, this is not something uh, that is combined once again with what your doctor is going to prescribe you. It's different. So unless you decide that you want to get into that journey of holistic medicine, a lot of people are not in touch with it at all.
Yeah, because again, in this country, if you go to other countries, it's, holistic and alternative medicine is more the norm. But, and don't get me wrong,
Yes. Yeah.
traditional Western medicine definitely has its place. Like if you cut
Of
yourself,
course.
if you are acutely ill, if you have a bad infection, if you need a surgery on your leg or you have pneumonia, you'll be so happy that you live in a country where you can go get healthcare, you can go
Yeah.
walk into any emergency room. So I am not saying that I'm anti Western medicine. It definitely has its place. But how I like to explain it is that type of medicine is sick care. Once you're already sick, you go and they will help you. They will give you a solution. But
Um.
that's not explaining how you got there and why you
Okay.
got there and all the steps you have to do to truly heal. So functional medicine, holistic medicine, it doesn't just treat it explains why, and it goes deep, it goes upstream. It figures out, okay, it pieces everything together. Like how I said before, when you have a woman's issue, go to the gyno, you go to the gastro, you go to the dermatologist. Like if you go see a proper holistic or functional medicine doctor, they see you as one whole person.
Right, right,
Holistic
right.
medicine, they see you as one whole person and they put all the pieces together and they say, okay, now I see why you have the acne, why you have the problems with your period, why you can't eat any food without feeling bloated, why you have anxiety, why you can't sleep. They piece everything together. And it might not be as quick of a solution as if you go to the doctor and they give you a pill, but that's just a Band-Aid. That's just it's like
Right.
if you're bleeding, it's a Band-Aid that's going to stop the bleeding, but it's not really addressing the root cause of why you're experiencing all those issues to begin with.
So unlike what I said, it's not the segregation of two different medicine with one taking over the other one because it's backed by science. It's actually holistic practices should be the foundation of health, with the traditional medicine being the remedy if something goes wrong.
Yes. Yes. In my opinion,
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood
But
now.
again, unfortunately, I very seldom hear of insurance covering any type of alternative holistic. So at the end of the day, it's a cost issue.
Right.
Also,
Yes.
people can't afford to go to a functional medicine. That's a luxury because hopefully this changes. Hopefully insurances start to work more with functional and holistic doctors, because I think it's starting to become more apparent
Yeah.
that this type of intervention really is what helps heal people truly. And that all of the pharmaceutical industries and all of that, at the end of the day, it's just putting a Band-Aid, in my opinion.
Yes. I haven't thought about the cost side of wanting to, take becoming the CEO of your health. It's true that it's a choice that has to make financial sacrifice ahead, like upfront of that decision, because this is going to determine if you're able to heal yourself properly, healing the roots rather than just going once it's too late. And so now you need a doctor for the symptoms. Yeah. That's a good point.
And I always tell people your body is the most expensive thing you will own. So you always want to invest as much as you can into your health, whatever that means to you,
Right.
by the foods you choose, the products you put on your body, consume,
Right.
the doctors, the healthcare that you seek. I always hear people say like, "Oh, that's too expensive," but yet they want the newest like electronic device, they want the newest car. It's like that car when it breaks down, I always use the Ferrari analogy. Treat your body like a Ferrari. You're not
Love
going to
that.
go put, if you had a Ferrari, you're not going to go put the crappy gas. You're going to go put the best gas, the best oil change you can get. You're not going to go try to get a discount on the side of the road, the cheapest one. No, you're going to prioritize
True.
it. But yet people feed their bodies with crap all the time,
Yeah.
from what they eat to everything that they consume. It's really something to consider.
Why do you think we have such a lack of priority when it comes to our body, and we just treat it as something that is, we treat it for granted, really?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people don't even consider it until they get sick. It's kind of like, I
Oh,
mean, that makes sense, right? Because especially
yes.
younger people, they don't think about the consequences. You don't think about the consequences of what you're doing until later on when you get sick. Then it's very rare, in my opinion, that I see. I think now there's a movement that even younger people are becoming so much more health conscious and proactive and going to functional medicine doctors and all of that. But for the most part, usually it takes some little bit of a health scare or a little bit
Yes.
of a health issue to really start paying attention to your body and what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that we have woken up also because we realized that back in the days we had some sort of trust in the food industry, in the pharmaceutical in some sort of ways. And now we realize that capitalism turned the country into a machine that is benefiting from people being sick, basically. And I think people have just woken up for that reason that, well, they're trying actively to kill me, while I'm alive. And what can I do? How can I remove myself from that system and think for myself? Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you
Yeah.
have to be the CEO. You have to be your own
Yeah.
advocate. You can't trust. You have to always do your research on everything. Yeah.
I would love also you spoke about the fact that so now the main focus of your work is you have a holistic approach to your
hmm
to your to your practice. I would love to know, what is your core focus? Is it when you have somebody come to talk to you and ask for advice? Um what do you prioritize, first?
Well, I always like to look at all of their history. So, since I have
Okay.
my background in traditional medicine, I really take a deep dive. I go through all their medical history. I start asking them questions since they were a little girl. Tell me everything that happened to you, any
Okay.
trauma, anything that could be still showing up in your life today. All of their medical history, their surgical history, every medication, supplement, food, everything, a complete history. And then I do a deep dive and I really take a look at their nutrition. Nutrition, no matter what's the issue that the person is coming to me for, diet plays such a huge role. It's kind of like the low hanging fruit because we have, for the most part, we have total control over what we put in our body. Like we don't have,
Yeah.
we always have a choice. Yeah, you can choose to go to McDonald's because it's quick and easy and convenient, and that's what you could choose to feed your kids. Or you can choose to cook at home and choose to buy the best food that you can afford. And then there's always, I think, functional lab testing is necessary because if not, you're kind of just guessing. Like as far we were talking about
Okay.
supplements and blindly buying supplements on TikTok. How do you know you need that supplement? How do you know that's not going to hurt you instead of helping
Right.
you? So I always like to test people, see maybe your vitamin D is low, maybe your iron is low. That could be explaining a lot of your symptoms. So it's really important to get the numbers and see, actually see what's going on. If you're having gut issues, digestive issues, do some gut testing. You might have parasites, you might have bacterial overgrowth, you might have candida overgrowth, you might have hormone dysregulation, not even know it. So it's so important to do lab testing. And then lifestyle, nervous system. So many women are running on cortisol and they're in adrenal fatigue
Mm.
because they're so used to being in fight or flight and doing all. And in this society that we live in, it's go, go, go. The women are expected to
Yeah.
be the housemakers, the mothers, the CEOs, the entrepreneurs, the corporate woman, the how, take care of everything in the home. And women are burnt out. And I see it more and more every day.
So when you're burnout, don't just look for to change your lifestyle, but also do it as a whole, right? Your diet and what's going on in your life is related to each other. This is what you meant to say?
Yeah, definitely. Your diet
Okay.
plays a huge role in your, so many women are eating a diet that's just not working for them because they see online that they need to eat keto and carnivore. And then they wonder why their hormones are dysregulated or why they have so much anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, maybe because you're not eating, you're not fueling yourself properly, and you're not eating any carbs. Women need, especially in the in the years that you can in the reproductive years, you need carbs in order to fuel your body. So women are taking a lot of advice from men when it comes to diet and supplements and all of that.
Right.
So
Yes.
and also the fasting for really long hours, in this society, especially now with the GLP-1s and the Ozempic, women are malnourishing themselves. I see so many people wasting away. It's like the trend to be so skinny, but you're not, that's not helping your health in the long term, So I see a lot of women not eating enough protein. They're depleted totally of their micro and macronutrients. Their sleep is terrible because they're not
Yeah.
fueling themselves and they have all this anxiety. So it's kind of a vicious cycle.
It is. It totally is. And I know again that a lot of the women in the audience will be able to relate to what you just said. And it doesn't feel like it's all connected together because what do you think? Oh, I want to lose weight, but I'm just unable to do it because of insulin resistance or what the case may be. And you end up getting that GLP-1. And like you said, now you're malnourished. You don't have enough muscles, maybe also to support the physical activity you want to do. It's just like, it's just compounding on each other in the worst possible way. And the burnout, I mean, I actually haven't thought about burnout being related to diet altogether.
It's all interconnected, all
Yeah.
interconnected. Your inflammation, your hormones, your diet, your sleep. That's what holistic medicine does. It literally pieces everything together. Like everything is supposed to be working harmoniously. It's
Right.
when you start isolating all the variables and just treating the symptoms, that's when all the problems arise because then you're just
Right.
using a medication for this, a medication for that, instead of piecing it all together to really get a full picture of what can best help this patient.
I enjoy the fact that we broke that down. I think it's easier for people to understand exactly how they are affected by it rather than saying this is a solution for everything you've been feeling that could be wrong. Really, I think it gave us it's easier to digest. The way you just explained it made it very easy to understand and digest.
Well, I hope what I'm saying can help somebody out there. Because, like I said, I wish I heard this podcast years ago, and that would have helped me a lot. So hopefully, I can help women out there. Yeah.
It's an awakening for everybody, and we are also spreading a lot more that message on platform. I say we, and we say, and it's women. I've noticed that women really want other women to be healthy, happy, and understand that their body is working for them and not against them. I feel that we have all embraced this mission. And yeah, most definitely, we definitely need to keep on talking about it a lot more, though. When someone comes to you with their lab results, saying everything looks normal, but they still don't feel well, what do you think is happening in their body, mood, and daily life by that point?
Well, normal is very subjective because
Okay.
what's normal to one practitioner could be abnormal to another. So labs are
Okay.
very open and subjective to interpretation. And also, when people go to the doctor in the United States, they're getting very minimal lab work done. And I hear it all the time that people go to the doctor, and I provide to my patients always like a list of labs. And I tell them next time you go get your checkup, request these labs. And almost always the doctor will give them some sort of pushback. And I see it all the time. I have friends and family that it's very difficult to get doctors to run the proper labs. So that's why functional medicine is so important when it comes to lab work. That's the functional lab work that I run for my patients is nothing at all what you'll get if you go just to your primary care doctor or your gyno for your physical, your yearly physical. So first of all, they're not running proper labs. They're not running all the labs they need to. And then also their standards of what's normal might be normal for them, but it doesn't mean that it's optimal. So it's very open to interpretation and it's very subjective.
Hence, having a personalized and tailored consultation to your own needs. Again, not going with the blanket diagnosis you were talking about.
Exactly. And again, if women are being told that everything is normal, but yet they feel like they know that something is not normal, go seek other care, go request other labs. And a
Right.
lot of times when women are still feeling all of these symptoms, it's because their hormones are off. They have a gut issue. They have some sort of dysbiosis, an issue with their gut microbiome and their gut health. Or maybe it's, like I said, a nervous system issue that it's
Yeah.
manifesting in certain physical issues, anxiety, insomnia, things like that.
Which they won't see in the traditional lab tests.
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, you
Okay.
don't see nervous system disorder. I mean, it's not even, a lot of people ask me to run their cortisol because cortisol, how I run cortisol is you take saliva. That's the proper way to test cortisol. If you go to the
Okay.
doctor, they just take a blood sample at whatever time you go. So that just
Yeah.
gives one little snapshot of your cortisol. In order to get a true understanding of your cortisol pattern, you have to collect your saliva, throughout the day.
Okay.
So it's just
Okay.
like nuances, and it's functional lab testing is completely different than traditional lab testing.
Interesting. Would you recommend to have you said functional, and what's the other term?
Functional labs, as opposed to just like the regular labs that you go to when you go to your gyno
Okay.
once a year, or if you go get a physical from your primary care doctor. They'll run like
Okay.
the most basic panel that it'll give you some information, like if your cholesterol is high or something like that, or if you have an infection, but anything deeper than that, it won't pick up on.
So would you recommend people who are curious about the holistic approach to start there by having a functional lab test, which
Yeah,
is more
I think
complete?
I think that would be a great place for people to start for sure, because that'll let you know if there's something concrete that you have on paper, an abnormality, and that's an easy way that you can tailor your supplement regimen. If you see that you're low in ferritin, you know that you need to be taking iron. A lot of women always come to me complaining of hair loss, of feeling anxiety, all of these things. And when we correct their iron, they feel fine again. So
Oh, that's
there's like little,
wonderful.
I mean, it's not always such an easy fix, but if you're having very low vitamin D, low ferritin levels, that's something that you can easily check for and then fix with
Yes.
diet, supplements, lifestyle.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
the low hanging fruit that you can
Yes.
really work on first. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. When clients come to you with fatigue, weight gain, hormone issues, or anxiety, um, is there a, a common root? I mean, now we touched on it, so we spoke about diet, but do you feel that there is something that, and actually, I feel bad that I wrote this question because you said everybody is different, so we could not give an answer for everyone. But let's change this question a little bit then. Do you have the impression that a lifestyle could give a common diagnosis that people are overlooking?
Yeah, so a lot of like the most common things that I see causes are gut issues. A lot of because of the diet, like we talked about in this country, most people are having the standard American diet, going to drive-throughs, eating out at restaurants. Like I think
Okay.
now the food industry has been everyone's more aware of what they're
Yes.
eating because they see that the food is not safe. Even, you go to the grocery store, if you go to like a place like Walmart or any traditional grocery store, half of the food on the shelf, it's like basically poison,
Yeah.
like all the things that are in the food are like outlawed in other countries. So I think people are really starting to know what, to pay more attention to the diet. So because of that diet issue in our country, a lot of people have a lot of gut health issues, and
Yeah.
that can in turn cause hormone dysregulation. It can cause things like anxiety, depression. I don't know how much you've heard about the gut brain axis, but there's a big connection between what's going on in our guts and in our brain. So a lot of times when people are feeling depressed, anxious, it could be because they have a gut dysbiosis issue. So that is
Interesting.
definitely a root cause of a lot of things. It can also cause hormonal issues. And then both of those can be a lot of times attributed to nervous system dysregulation. A
There you
lot of
go.
times I work with people and, women have chronically come to me. A lot of women come to me after they've gone to so many doctors and haven't gotten the
Right.
answers and the solutions that they need. And some women have been dealing with things like fatigue, anxiety, brain fog,
Right.
weight gain, inflammation, hormone chaos, and all of that. And when I start to do a deep dive, something, they went through some really intense trauma as a child, as a young adult, and they never fully processed it. And when you don't process those emotions and your nervous system is always in fight or flight, you're going to have
Right.
digestive issues. Your cortisol is going to be dysregulated and it's going to cause hormonal chaos. You're not going to be sleeping. You're going to be having skin issues. So it's all connected, and a lot of times it goes back to the nervous system.
Again, thank you for explaining so deeply and I'm going to say even completely what somebody might be going through. I feel that we have treated nervous system and survival mode as a luxury. You go to the therapist and you're trying to solve that in your head, but we have rarely ever linked that to being a cause of what could go wrong physically.
Yeah, I really recommend everyone to listen to
Yeah.
or read books like The Body Keep the Score. That explains it really well, the
Okay.
mind-body connection, and how these things that happen to us, if we don't process them properly and we just push
Right.
them down, they can actually show up as disease in our body. And like we were talking about modern medicine, it teaches how to cover up symptoms, but our symptoms are our body's way of communicating to us. They're not to
Yes.
be pushed away. Like we're
Right.
taught in the society, especially women, oh, you just keep going, keep working, keep up. But sometimes our bodies are telling us we need to rest. We need our bodies are telling us we want to feel. It needs to feel safe. It needs to feel stable, and that's why women are seeing so many hormonal issues, anxiety, sleep disturbances. A
Right,
lot of
right,
times
right.
it's because their nervous system, they haven't properly addressed their emotional issues and their nervous system dysregulation.
It's really amazing how your ability to communicate, once again, your practice. It's very easy to understand, and I want to go on with now your program. I would like for the audience to be able to understand, how long it's going to take, what they're going to get from it, and what is your approach?
So again, like we keep coming back, everything is so individualized, right?
Okay.
A lot of times people are, in this society, everyone wants instant results. Like they want to lose weight
Yes.
today. They want their Amazon package today. They want their health transformed today, and nothing and anything in life, this, I know you're an entrepreneur, nothing good comes overnight. Everything, it takes time. And if you have for years ignored your body's symptoms. I like to call them whispers. When we have symptoms, it's our body whispering to us that something's wrong. It's like a nudge. And when we ignore those whispers, then our body starts to scream at us. And then that's when we see the disease. But when you have been ignoring those whispers for years and your diet has been poor, you've been neglecting your health, you have been not prioritizing sleep, you've been, not giving yourself any rest and the self-love and self-care that your body really needs, it's not going to be an overnight fix. So I have a lot of women that come to me and we start changing their diet, we improve their sleep, and everything starts to flow better, and they tell me right away that they feel amazing. That's my goal, is always, right away to make you feel better. But if you have some hormonal chaos going on from years of your body kind of in this phase, or if you have some people come to me and they have some serious gut dysbiosis, parasitic infections, candida, those can take sometimes a couple of months. You can't just undo years of poor health sometimes overnight. I wish that would be amazing, if that would be incredible. But sometimes it does take some time to see the results. And because it's not like if you go to a doctor and you take a pill, you might see results faster, but that's just a temporary solution. That's not getting to the root cause. So if you want true healing from the root cause, it's going to take a little bit of time.
And out of curiosity, on your social media, I saw you leading yoga classes and other fun things. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yes, I completed yoga teacher training last year. So I did my 200-hour certification because personally, yoga has been such an amazing practice for me and such a big part of my healing journey. So that's why I wanted to deepen my practice. And I haven't had time to teach right now, but hopefully in the future, I would love to teach community classes or online classes. But yoga is an amazing nervous system regulator, and it has done wonders for me and my nervous system. So I just wanted to deepen my practice even more. Just
Love
like something else in my toolbox to help people.
There is also something else that you've been doing, is leading workshops for companies.
Yes. Well, I started doing corporate wellness programs last year. So, which is amazing because it's what I aim to do one-on-one with clients. It's scaled. So I'm able to go into a corporation because when people are experiencing anxiety, burnout, not sleeping well, not taking care of themselves well, it shows up as productivity issues, right? They're not going to be the best employees. So companies want to invest in this because it's a good return on investment. Their employees are going to be so much more productive. Their burnout rate is going to be less. Their retention is going to be longer. So it's something that I think a lot more companies are starting to recognize as a really important, financial investment for them to make. So yeah, I started doing that last year, and it's been really great. Yeah.
Bouncing on what you said, do you think that for somebody who is looking for, perks at their job when they negotiate their contract, we should implement holistic practices with a coach like you, with a program, and take it as seriously as having the coverage for vision or dental?
I hope so. I hope more companies start moving in that direction. I think a lot of them are starting to recognize the power of functional and holistic or alternative medicine.
Yeah.
But I think we do have some ways to go, unfortunately, before a lot of companies will start to pay for that. But I am starting to see a shift in that direction. So that's exciting.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, it won't be covered by insurances unless it becomes a priority in society in general.
Exactly. Yes.
talking about priority in society in general, do you tell us more also about what you do on the side? I know you are on social media. This is where I found you, and I had to reach out to you. Do you do events? Do you speak on stages? Where can we find you?
So my stage right now is TikTok and Instagram. I mean, I do talk at retreats and stuff for these corporations when I'm doing these corporate
Yes.
wellness programs. But yeah, I started because I love to educate people. I really do. And I love working one-on-one with people, but it's just one-on-one. So I want to be able to help as many people as possible. So I am working on building a trusted wellness platform that people can come to me, and not only can they get one-on-one care if they choose to, but they can
Right.
receive the education that they need so they can be more empowered, because information is knowledge. So my objective is just to really help people learn more about their health. So that's what I'm trying to do. I've been for the past, it's a new content creation is new for me, and it's
Yeah.
definitely, there's a learning curve. But a couple of months ago, I started being consistent with health education. So my goal is to grow it and educate and help as many people as possible.
Yeah. Well, you have to be on social media because you said it yourself. Women have to rely on that a lot more to be able to question their practitioners. So now you can back down from that commitment because we are all
Yes,
counting on you. And on
yes,
that
yes.
note, I will be adding your social media and your websites in the description down below so everybody can reach out to you. But for the
Thank you.
sake of hearing it here, if somebody doesn't have the time to go in the description, can you please tell us, spell us your website and your social media where you're very present?
Sure. It's easy. My name isn't so easy to spell. It's a little bit of an unusual name, but it's Dr. Jolie Mestre. So Dr. Jolie Mestre is my Instagram, TikTok handle, and then my website is drjoliemestre.com. So that's where the TikTok and Instagram, that's where they can find educational content. And then my website, if they want to get in contact with me, they could do so on there. So thank you.
I want to ask you one more question before we wrap up this amazing episode. Everyone wants to live longer, but what does longevity actually mean to you? Is it about adding years to life or adding life to our years?
Oh, 100%. Adding life to years. I mean, what's the point of living to 100 if you're not happy and healthy? So I think the trend now is longevity. Everybody's trying to reach longevity. But in the pursuit of longevity, I see so many people so stressed out and so not enjoying life. It's like, yeah, obviously you need to prioritize your health, but you want to enjoy the journey. If you're not enjoying the journey, that the journey is the whole point. So, find what lights you up and go enjoy your life. You only have one. So
Amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today, Jolie. It was a treat having you.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.